Sparwood, Kevin, just so you know.
You're in Sparwood?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Are you coming out to Fernie tomorrow for dubs?
I am.
Nice.
I am. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have to make a habit of looking at the camera, probably. Hey.
Oh man.
I don't think I've looked at the camera once during this podcast. I think I just look at everybody on the
Yeah, I look at
on the
I look
call.
at the boards.
Yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 8th annual UP podcast. I guess the 8th episode of the UP podcast. Annual doesn't really count. Eh?
Annual?
I'll cut that.
No, leave that in.
If it's annual, I'm honored.
If you couldn't tell, it's not just me and Zimmy tonight. We got a guest star. We got Mr. Kevin King himself.
A round of applause.
How's it going? How's it going?
You know, we're good. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm good. It's like pouring right now, but it's kind of calming. A little ASMR in the background. Nice. Yeah, it was raining a little bit today. I took my son out fishing just because we had the vehicle, and I was like, yeah, I've never been to Lost Lake, so we went fishing, and it was awesome.
Nice. Hell yeah. That's sweet.
Fun.
Didn't catch anything. But...
Oh, it doesn't matter.
You're out there.
Bad day fishing beats a good day at work.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. Made some memories with the kids. So
absolutely. All right, Kevin, if you don't know, we always start this podcast off with a little drink review. It doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage. It can be whatever beverage. But if you have a beverage, we're going to get you to start us off. Tell us what you're drinking and what you give it a rating out of 10.
All right, let me get it. Hold on. I do have a bar fridge down here, which is hilarious for a guy that doesn't drink.
Bar fridge.
All right, let's go with this. It was on Marketplace for like $20. Someone in town was selling. They had like,
you gotta get in on that.
They had like 4 of them, and I was like, well, I'll take one. So
yeah.
So we stocked the downstairs bar fridge. Currently, it's where I keep all my Gatorade. I usually get like the Superstore usually has like a 10 for 10
for 10. Let's go.
So I stock up on that early in the season and usually replenish that whenever I see the deal. So anyway, so that's where I keep all my Gatorade that I use for tournaments. And usually I'll have some Sprite or root beer because those are my favorite pops. We don't have that currently. So for me, it's like I've taken a step down. I've got Crush. I've got some
cream soda.
I went with cream soda. Yeah, I like cream soda more than the other Crush flavors. I don't love the grape. I don't love the orange. They're good in floats, I guess.
That one right there is the orange. The orange is my favorite.
Me too.
So that one.
I'll do orange in like
with you on that one, Kev. Sorry.
In like a vanilla float, like orange. I'll do that.
Okay.
That works for me. But
I can't have ice cream.
Okay. The cream soda I like because it's the flavor of cream soda, but the flavor of cream soda I associate with the white freezies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's my favorite flavor of freezy. Either the white or the blue. They're both pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going with right now. I'm going with Crush cream soda. It tastes like a freezy.
What do you rate that out of 10, Kevin?
Let's see. I gotta figure out what my benchmark is for a 10 for like a soda. So like, if I were to imagine the best soda versus the worst soda, what would you guys say is the worst soda that you've ever had? Because I have
Pepper.
one. Dr. Pepper. Okay.
I'm kind of with
Dr. Pepper.
I'm not a big Dr. Pepper fan.
No, but so I don't really care for anything kind of cola related. I'm not a big fan of. So I won't even include that because I don't really have much exposure to it. But my brother-in-law in Toronto, he's weird. He's like in his 50s, and he will regularly buy this pop it's called spruce beer, and it is like a root beer, but it tastes like a tree. It is like,
you might as well just drink a beer at that point,
right? Yeah. It's like if you took bark and just put it in a blender and then like.
Oh, that sounds like a 10 out of 10 on the IPA scale right there for beers.
Yeah, maybe, but when
for the alcoholic beers.
Yeah, when I'm drinking a pop, I'm not going for pine, I'm not going for a piney flavor. So like
Wow.
that's a zero for me. So between spruce beer and I don't know, Sprite or root beer or something, I'd put this crushed cream soda. It's not mid. It's a little. I'd go 7. No, I go. Let's refine this. I'd go I'd go 7.9. I wouldn't give it an 8,
I like it.
but it's in the high sevens.
That might
I
be
like
the
it.
most thoroughly thought out drink review I've ever heard in my entire life, and I respect it.
I don't know how
Yes.
much time you budgeted for this, but so I apologize if we're going over already on the drink review.
You know
No,
what?
you're good.
That
There
was
we go.
the most detailed thing I've ever heard. And if our viewers don't love that, stop listening. That was amazing.
Exactly.
What have
If
you
that
guys
doesn't
got?
get you, if that doesn't get you hooked right in, I don't know what does.
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna go next.
All right.
So I could think I might have had this the last pod. I might have had this exact flavor. Okay, so for this podcast, I'm going Coors Seltzer. I might have had this the last podcast.
Did you have a red one?
Okay, so I think I had the mango one last time.
No, sorry, orange. Yes, I
I
think you did
think.
have the mango one.
So this time I'm going with the pineapple colada.
Nice.
Mm. That is like the drink of choice for me when I'm at a resort. Is a
Mhm.
the virgin pina colada.
Yeah.
Man, that is refreshing. Like that hits the spot for a guy. You know what?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give that a solid 7.6.
Okay.
7.6. Like there's definitely better drinks out there, but that tastes really good.
I love it.
Mhm.
Now,
Do you generally like a hard seltzer?
Yeah, I'm generally a seltzer guy.
so
And
this
actually I
weekend's gonna
use
be all seltzers.
I'm a
Nice.
big seltzer guy.
Nice.
Zimmy, what do you got for us?
Well, I'm a beer guy, as everybody knows.
Oh, I
Uh,
really didn't know that.
tonight, I think I probably had this on the pod at one point, but we're gonna go with the Fernie Brew. Switching it up. I normally go with Stanley Park Brewing.
You have
Um,
been rocking the Stanley Park Brewing lately.
oh, I love it. It's so good. So we're gonna go with the nice What the Huck. Very good. Classic for the Fernie Brew.
Hmm.
Crisp. You'll love
It's
that.
it's timely too because I think they're a big sponsor of the Fernie tourney, which is coming up in a couple of days.
Beautiful.
It is. Yes.
Yes.
Fernie tournament. Um, Smell wise, I'm giving it a solid 8 because I just love the smell of the What the Huck.
Oh, the pinky out. Respectable, man.
Have to. A What the Huck, I think, was this the one that we got in the keg?
Yes.
Yeah, this one for me, beer wise, solid 9. 9.2,
Ooh.
honestly. I'm giving it a 9.2.
Fernie
Because
representing.
Fernie, it's made with huckleberry, man. It's so good.
I say it looks like it says berries
Yeah,
on the can. Gotta have
yeah.
some flavor to it.
Beer with huckleberry and blueberry flavor.
Damn.
So yeah, can't disrespect it.
No, you
Nice.
couldn't.
Mm-mm. And then I got that high quality H2O in this bottle.
Nice. Gotta stay
Yeah,
hydrated.
you have to.
What's the newest sticker you've got on there?
Actually, I just put this crow on there today.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
sweet.
sick.
that one and this give peace a chance, and it's a piece with pizza in it.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Hell
just
yeah.
got. Oh yeah, and then I also added 2 Pokemon stickers on there. There's that little guy there, and my sizer right there.
Nice.
Yeah, nice
Hell
little
yeah.
collection.
My kids started doing that when they saw my water bottle because it's all exclusively disc golf stuff, like my disc golf water bottle. So
Yeah,
they saw that, and now any sticker they got to stick on their own personal water bottle. It's kind of fun.
that's a cool way to do it.
Heck yeah. All right.
Anyways,
Moving on. Let's get right into a couple questions for our guest. First of all, Kevin, I want to know, the viewers want to know, how long have you been playing disc golf? And what got you into
Uh,
the sport?
sure. So that question has a couple of answers because the first time I ever played disc golf This was back when my buddies, I was living in Vancouver, and a bunch of friends were like, "Hey, let's get some girls and let's all go out and go play some frisbee golf." There was a course. Yeah, my first exposure to disc golf was as frisbee golf. So
All right.
we all grabbed like
Frolf.
we yeah we went for often. It was like a group of like 8 of us. We must have been like obnoxious to anybody who was like trying to play a regular round, but um, it was fun. We all grabbed like whatever beach frisbee we had at home, just like an ultimate something, or and we went out and had a blast, and we sucked, and that was at a course in Vancouver called Mundy Park. It's still there. It's a 9-hole course. It's a really busy course. They got a really cool community there, um, and it's fun. It's in the middle of like I said, a really busy park. A little bit of water there too. They're all par threes, and yeah, that was the first time I played, and I went there I think twice. Back in So the first time I went was I think 2001. So I would have been like 17 or 18. And then I think I played like the year after with another group of friends that thought it would be a fun idea again. So I went twice there like 23 years ago. And then didn't have any exposure to disc golf for a while after that, for like 8 years. And I was kind of reintroduced to disc golf, like the actual sport, not just grabbing a frisbee and throwing around, when I was going to school in Lethbridge at the U of L. So I had some friends that there's a church teacher guy that was really big into it. He's in Edmonton now, and he introduced me to disc golf. And yeah, so played at Nicholas Sharon. My first discs were ones that I borrowed from a buddy that he just let me keep, and I still have most of them. So like a Discraft XS, which is like it could be my roller
An
now, and
XS.
an
Nice.
XS. There was like I think another disc I wrote. It's called The Last Resort because it was just like the worst disc ever. It was some mid range and some putter that was garbage. So I did not have good discs initially, and then for like Christmas, like 2009, when I was starting to get into it, my mom got me
And in
my
nine.
my first set. Yeah. So she got me like this, like the Innova starter bag, the little tiny one that you get for like $10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got that with my first set of discs, and I believe I got a Roadrunner, which I've since lost, a Beast that I still have, the Rock that I still bag, and the Rhino that is like the
Is
Kevin
that
disc. If they're
that
yeah,
that's
the yellow,
that's the Rhino?
the yellow Rhino, yeah.
No way.
So yeah, so the Rhino and the Rock are still in the bag today, and the stamps are mostly gone, and the dye job of my Rhino, which used to be like super crisp and sharp, is like
Oh yeah, man,
faded.
it's just a big blob. You can still
Yeah.
tell it's a rhino though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a
I mean,
blob of a rhino.
yeah,
Put on a couple pounds.
a rhino that's let himself go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how I got into it, and that was yeah, that was 2009, and then I got married the next year, and my wife let me still play. So
Nice. And yeah,
um,
obviously with getting into it, you built the course in Elkford and got that going and kind of helped expand disc golf into
I
rural
did.
areas, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. That was kind of fun. That was so after Lethbridge, like I said, that was 2009. I started playing, and then in 2013, I moved from Lethbridge to Elkford. And like first item of business for me when I got here was get a disc golf course in the ground because they didn't have one. The nearest one was Sparwood, which had just been put in like the year before. Um, and then Fernie would be the next one. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was working for the town doing their finances, so I had immediate access to the parks people and the finance people and council, and all the people I need to talk to get funding and permission and all the zoning and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the process was pretty straightforward. We got it all funded mostly through grants through CBT, and there's like an Elkford community association that provides
Yeah.
funding for stuff like that. So yeah, it was. I think I mentioned on Facebook a week or two ago that it was like the 10-year anniversary of council approving the course. So so this year would have been, yeah, the course in Elkford being in for 10 years.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
like seeing the pictures of when you first put it up to like now, it's really cool to see how natural, how the fairways are fairways now, and like before
Mhm.
they were grown in and all that, and it was just some baskets in the ground with like you and Dan throwing discs and Terry throwing discs.
Yeah,
That's basically it in
Good old
Elkford.
Dan.
Yeah.
yeah. Dan, he got the first ace on the course. That kind of annoyed me because he'd been playing for like a week, and he gets an ace on one, and I was like, that's a freaking good ace.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, and
and
then
I was
he started playing like competitive junior, wasn't he? And he was
Yep,
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. I took him and Bertus to Montana for their first
In
PDGA tournament
Libby.
in Libby. Yeah, I went camping
Libby,
with
yeah.
them. The three of us and Terry Salmon. We went to Libby to play that one. So yeah,
Boy
that
did
was his first tournament.
boy did those two boys ever fall off.
That's what Dan was saying. Dan told me today he hasn't even picked up a disc this year.
Oh, Dan, what are you
Uh,
doing, man?
I
I
told him
saw
he's
I
got
saw
to come out to Fernie tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
I saw Dan within the last year. I think we crossed paths. I think at league once or twice. Haven't seen Bertus in a bit though.
No, he
But
lives in Calgary.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
he lives in Calgary now. He's part of the Calgary Corporation for Tech or whatever. I don't freaking know what it is. Something on the
okay,
metal side.
okay.
Wicked.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, I got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
Uh, what are your top three courses and why?
So I knew this question was coming, and I did some. I keep a Google Doc. Oh, not a Google Doc. I keep on Google Maps. I have
Spreadsheet.
a
Oh,
saved.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I have a saved list in Google Maps of courses that I've played. So I brought up that, and I started looking at the course. I'm like, oh, that's a good one, and I wrote it down. And I had this laundry list of courses, and I'm like, there's no freaking way I'm going to be able to narrow this down to three because I like so many of them, and I like a lot of them for a lot of different reasons too. Um, so what I did is I narrowed it down to, I have three different categories. So my top three courses in terms of like the ones that I personally like and have like a sentimental kind of value to me, it would be Mundy Park because that's where I first
Yeah,
played disc golf.
first
It was
one.
my first love. Yeah. My first round of disc golf was at Mundy for a couple, I have a sister that lives probably like 10 minutes from Mundy. So anytime I get to go see her in Vancouver, I make sure to go check in with Mundy and see if I can, put up a better score. But so that's one. Um, Nicholas Sharon Park was like my first real kind of home course, and it's where I kind of cut my teeth and kind of learned the sport, learned the rules. It was also where I got my first win, not a sanctioned win, but like my first
Oh, really?
invitational
Yeah,
win.
yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, the Golden Taco. I won the Golden
Yeah.
Taco
Yes.
three
Golden
times there.
taco.
Yeah, rest in peace, Golden Taco. Like,
Man, that's an unreal name.
That is an
yeah.
unreal name.
It was an unreal trophy too. They took a disc and they put it in the oven, and then they bent it into the shape of basically like a hard shell taco,
That's
and
awesome.
and then they mounted it to like this trophy base
Yeah.
thing and spray painted it gold. It was awesome.
Oh, that's
Anyways,
awesome.
so Nicholas Sharon, that would be my second one, and then my other favorite course, I have to say McGrath because that it was my
That,
first
that
MPO
was your
win.
first MPO win. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hunting down that first MPO win forever. Finally got it last year at McGrath at the Wolfpack Classic. Here's the trophy here, the little Wolfpack, and then the disc
Nice.
was the one I got to keep. So and also like I won this year at in McGrath at the NADGT. So it's treating me well recently. So
Nice.
those
Ooh,
three for sentimental reasons. I really like those courses.
nice.
And so I have another top three internationally. I have a top three. My favorite course overall ever in the like any list, top course is Milo McIver. I got to play that one. It's just outside of Portland.
Yeah,
Mm.
I want to play that. That one's on my list of
So
ones
good,
that I want
so
to play.
good. Yeah, so they have there's two courses on the property, and I think for the Beaver State Fling, they usually have the two.
Yeah.
Normally, it's one kind of one course that they make. I think 27 most of the time. But I got to play it when it was in the Beaver State Fling layout with the
Yeah.
East and the West. So that was a blast. I did that with the U of L college team that yeah, we went down, and where's my disc? We went down in 2013.
Nice.
So yeah, that was the
I
first.
love it. Just looks at the wall. When did I do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When do the wall is, it's like a journal.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So Milo McIver, that's my favorite course ever. I also really like Roy G. Guerrero in Austin. Wizzy, did you play that one when you went down?
I don't think so.
You didn't play Roy G.
I
They
don't think
usually
so.
have it as like oh, you played
I played
when you
MA2
went.
when I was down there.
I'd say, yeah, I think you did MA2. They usually have that one as like the showcase for MA1s, or like the top guys there, because it's a pretty good
Oh,
course.
Oh, so
okay.
not us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no. We
Yeah,
play that one for fun.
Yeah.
yeah, that one's it's really good. It's the one that most of the Austin people will go play. If you're in town, you got to play one course. That's the one you got to go play. So I really like that one. And then um, I had another one on the list, but I crossed it off and I switched it up for the one that I got to go play in Australia in Canberra for their Australian National Championships.
I forgot that you went to that. That's sick.
That was super fun. It was really cool. It was in November, but it was like the start of their summer. And so that's when they had their national championships, and they flew in Terry Miller. So a disc golf guy was there doing
Yeah.
some live coverage. Or no, I think he did post produced coverage. This was a while back. So I got to meet him and just some of the locals there. Um, the course was awesome. It was a 27 hole course, and it was a lot of par fours and fives. And like in the middle of the course, there's just kangaroos going by. Just like, here we might have like a family of deer kind of crossing through the
Yeah.
course. It's kangaroos that are just going through the fairway. And I'm like, oh, this is a
That's
really
sweet.
freaking cool
That's
experience. So
so cool.
yeah, so that was super fun. So those are the three international courses. My top three courses in Canada are Bailey's Crossing in Edmonton. I really like that one.
I've never played that. I'd like to play that one though.
It's relatively new. I think it's only a couple years old.
Yeah.
I got to play it last year. We went up for Birdie Boomer, so that was a bunch of fun, and it was a super
Nice.
nice course. So that one's really good. Aspen Meadows, of course,
Oh,
Has to be on there.
classic.
it's got to be on there. And I don't differentiate between the two courses, just the whole
They're both
property.
so good.
That whole
Mhm.
property is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
so yeah, Rudy did a great job with that, and I'm hoping the guys that are kind of maintaining it will be able to keep it up, because he put his heart and soul into that place. So
From what I can tell from their like Instagram posts and everything, they're doing like a pretty decent job at like upgrading and maintaining it
nice.
and stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's good to see. I haven't seen
yeah,
the course since Rudy passed away. So yeah, that's good to hear. And then my third favorite course in Canada is I really liked the one that I got to go play out when I went to Ontario a couple years ago, called the Haute Goat. And it is where they're hosting with what used to be the Diameter Open. I just saw a post that they changed the name to the Rip. And so it's going to be
the Rick.
the Rip.
Oh, the
So go
Rip.
out.
I thought you said
Yeah,
the
go out.
Rip. I was like, oh, nice,
Yeah.
lucky guy.
Yeah, no, the Rip, yeah, is a new tournament, or it's the Diameter Open. They're changing to the Rip. So that one, that course is really cool, and they put a lot of work into that one too. There's a guy that's there almost every day mowing or fixing something, or
Oh, nice.
just a lot of maintenance in that one.
Sweet.
Yeah, there you go. There's a bunch of courses that I like.
Those sound like some wicked courses. Man, I feel
I
so
love it.
like untraveled. Like
Right? You hear what Kev's done, and now you're just like, wow, I love my southern
yeah, I love
southern
Southern
Alberta,
Alberta.
southern
Yeah,
are
it's fun.
crazy.
There was like the one in Jacksonville where they've had like pro tour events. I was like, I got to play that one just a couple months ago, but it was pretty flat and kind of,
That's
you know,
that's sweet.
had some cool holes, but yeah, it didn't make the cut.
That's sweet.
All right, Kevin, what's your favorite brand to throw?
That one's pretty easy. I mean, like when I mentioned the discs that I got from my mom for that first set of discs, they were all Innova, and that's what I was raised on, playing disc golf. Like it's the Discraft at the time only had like the one number for their flight numbers. So for a guy like me who wanted to know how a disc flew, Discraft didn't tell me enough, because that was back when they had like, oh yeah, this disc is like a -1, and that was it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know anything about this disc. So
Yeah.
I kind of gravitated to Innova, and back when I started, there weren't too many players. MVP was not really around. Discmania, I don't think they had really kind of started. Dynamic hadn't started, so you were kind of either Discraft or Innova for the most part. So yeah, so I was Innova, and most of the guys that I started with were all kind of team Innova as well. And we would joke about how terrible the buzz was, and then I got one through it, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if I could throw one brand, I think the brand that I have the most of in like my backup discs and is Innova, and that's I've just changed to an all Innova bag for this season to see what I can do to see if they'll add me to their ambassador team. So
Yeah,
Sweet.
I'm surprised they haven't already.
yeah, I talked to the guy out in Ontario who's the Innova Canada guy, and we kind of talked about it in the last year or so, and he didn't think I was like, we kind of kicked around the idea. And I was kind of waiting on him to like let me know, okay, oh, what do I got to do? And we just kind of we just revisited it a couple months ago, and he says, oh yeah, we've already done the December intake, but we'll get on this for the midsummer intake. So in the next month or two, cross my fingers, we'll see if I'm an Innova guy, and if not, I'll still throw other stuff because it's what I like.
Yeah.
Good
Nice.
discs. Might be the
That's
first time
awesome.
on this podcast that we've had a majority of Innova fans other than Discraft.
I think
Yeah.
you're
There you
right.
go.
Yeah. It's a good
Discraft
feeling.
makes Discraft makes good stuff. I'm not gonna slight any brand that's putting in work and making good stuff. So
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
just Innova just kind of it's feels like home for me, So
Heck yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Last question for you. What's it like working for NADGT, and what does the future of disc golf look like for Canada? If you had to weigh in on that subject.
yeah, that's a good question. So I'll answer the Canada one first. Disc golf in Canada, I really like the way that it's going currently. I know last year we had we had a pro tour event out in the Maritimes, which was kind of cool. There isn't one this year, but it doesn't mean that there won't be one in the future. They've got people coast to coast that I've been able to work with in the NADGT and make contacts with that are doing some heavy work wherever they are. There's a story that I was told where a bunch of guys are trying to move a piano and they're struggling, and they're not all lifting at the same time, and then one of the older guys who was there, he's like, hey guys, everyone just stop, just lift where you stand. And it just kind of just broke it down, simplified, lift where you stand. They all kind of right where they're standing lifted, moved it, and it was done. And so that mentality of lifting where you are has stuck with me. So like, the East Kootenays here, that's where that's where I've made my home. I'm doing what I can. I'm lifting here, and some people elsewhere, they might see that, and that might inspire them to lift in Winnipeg or lift in Thunder Bay or Ontario Maritimes, wherever they are. So I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people across the country in the grassroots level that are doing what they can to lift where they stand, and yeah, it's good to see. Good to see people putting in the work. Not just people that are like getting out and playing tournaments. That's important too. If for people that just want to participate or partake of what's going on. I think it's really important to have those people that are going to drive that and run events and build courses and do all that stuff. And I think Canada's got a good balance of both of those, and it's fun to see new Canadian pros emerging too and making some noise internationally, like Chantel winning on the pro tour.
Yeah, I was just about to say she just won an A tier this past weekend. I think, what was it, Foxwood?
That was Foxwood, yeah.
Yeah. Second year in a
So
row.
yeah, and she last year she won the Silver Series event on the pro tour against the Americans, so that's kind of cool. And Thomas is always doing his thing. And Casey, when he gets a chance, he's trying to make some noise down there too. And I know Noah's got some aspirations to tour. One day he's just gotta get to that level, and he's pretty close. So
Yeah, if he just beat Casey at his home course and at the spring runoff on the
Yeah,
weekend.
he did. Yeah,
Push-
I was there. That was fun to be a part of.
Like quite a
Yeah.
few strokes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
no,
sweet.
I like where Canada is now. I know just disc golf in general in the last year or so has had a bit of a pullback, a bit of a retraction in numbers for tournaments and that kind of thing. But
Mhm.
there's still a lot of people nationwide that are willing and ready to help out and and have conversations like you guys are having and a lot of podcasts and yeah, it's fun to see Canadians getting excited about disc golf.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, it
And
is.
so, and now to answer the first part of the question was, how is it working for the NADGT? I love it. I've been doing it now for, oh, geez, this is my 5th year, I think, doing this. So it's kind of fun. Like it started, I got into it in 2019. I played there was one qualifying event in Canada to go down to Texas, and I played in it, and it was in Calgary. And I didn't even play all that well, but their numbers at registration were not like they wanted to get a lot more people involved, and so the people that played well and got those early invitations to sign up, they had that window, and then towards the end they just said, okay, anybody who played any next gen event, it was the next gen tour back then. It says
Yeah.
anybody who played any next gen event can register, and I was like, oh, that's me. Okay, so I signed up and I went. I found cheap flights. My wife's cousin lived in Austin, so I just stayed with him and saved me a bunch of money there. So, um,
Perfect.
yeah, it was a great setup. And so when I was down there, I played. I finished kind of middle of the pack. I had some fun, made some friends, and um, I made sure to like go and talk to Dave Feldberg, who is the director of the tour, and
Yeah.
introduce myself. I'm like, hey, I'm the one Canadian that's here. We only have the one Canadian event. I think we could do more up in Canada. If you're interested in having a conversation with me, let me know. And I got his information and reached out to him when I came home, and he's like, yeah, let's see. He gave me kind of 2020 to kind of see what I could do, which was like the worst year ever because there was, you know, there had been one event in Canada for the previous 3 years. There's one in Vancouver, and then one in Calgary, and then another one in Calgary, and so he let me kind of take the reins for Canada for 2020, and we had like a few events. The gut shot was one of them.
Yeah.
I think we had like 5 events across the country, and like 3 of them were like sort of semi-local, like
The
the gut
Fernie.
shot or yeah, Lethbridge,
Yeah.
and didn't even have the Fernie one yet. So it
No.
was yeah. There weren't a whole lot of events, and then
Wait.
the next year we had like 8. And so a little bit of growth, but I wasn't getting too excited about the growth. And it was partly because they wanted um, they wanted the American format that they were using with their players packs and all of their pricing and all that. They just wanted to just kind of put that in Canada, and it didn't really fly that well. Like all the players pack stuff that was supposed to show up at the tournaments was coming from the States, and there was border issues and
I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, we had some events
Yeah.
that like stuff didn't show up, and
Bad.
I had to mail stuff to every player, and it just became so
Yeah.
expensive. So, I talked to Dave after that 2021 year, and I was like, hey, just hand me the keys. Just like let me run it up here how I think, and I'll do it all out of centrally located, like out of my house. I'll mail players back from here, so we don't have to deal with the border. And he's like, yeah, sounds good. And we had like 15 events the next year, so like almost double from the year before. And then we're up to like 22 this year.
Nice. That's
Damn.
awesome. Plus,
So
Lethbridge being a host of the Canadian, what is it, Canadian Nationals for the NADGT?
that's right, yeah. So like that's something that's kind of been on our radar for a couple of years. Is Dave's been pushing me to have a Canadian national championships because we have
Yeah.
the big one in the States. And it wasn't really ever there. Like, when we had like 8 or like, a dozen of events, I'm like, Dave, I don't think we're going to qualify enough people to come and play this. So now that we're in the 20s for qualifying and a lot of events, I'd like to see more events in Maritimes, Quebec, Ontario, Eastern Canada.
Yeah.
Right now there's only a couple. So most of it's kind of Saskatchewan to BC. So that's why, yeah, this first year that we're doing the national championships, we're doing it in Lethbridge, and
Nice.
that's in August. And yeah, we've got some good registration early. We haven't had too many events for people to qualify and then to sign up yet, but as the summer rolls on and we have more qualifying events, that'll qualify more people to be able to sign up. And anyone who plays in an NADGT Canada event nationwide gets that automatic invitation to come to nationals. So
Nice.
yeah, it's good. We've got
that includes like any Americans that want to come up, right? Like if they want to compete in the Canadian Nationals, they have to come to an NADGT event, like a Canadian event. And
So the way that I've got it set up, so disc golf scene is kind of slick in that there's a spot for invitational events only, so your pro tour events or worlds or things like that,
yeah,
where you can input an email list. And so what I do is at the end of every Canadian event, I take that email list, I plug it into the Nationals invite list, and I invite all those players that just played in that Canadian event. So yeah, if an American player um, wants to play in NADGT Canada Nationals, they totally can. They would be able to qualify either by playing in a Canadian event, just jumping the border and playing something nearby.
yeah.
I'm also reserving 5 spots for players, any players, whether it's in the States or in Canada, that want to come that don't have an opportunity to play in a qualifying event. So,
Hmm.
if somebody in Quebec is interested, we don't have any events out there.
Yeah.
So I'd be able to get them into the event on a case by case basis. So
That's really
yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's fun. It's our first year doing that. We got some good support from the Lethbridge Club. They're excited to have us there, and we've already got sponsors, some local Lethbridge sponsors, and then some national sponsors as well for that tournament. We're just going to continue to grow it, and we're hoping. I'm crossing my fingers that my boss will be coming up for that one, just to be on site and kind of see what we've grown up here. And the
That'd be
week
cool.
after that is Falcons Flight, and the
Oh,
Falcons Flight people, yeah, they've said, hey, if he's up and he stays for the week, we will get him in. So that'll be kind of fun.
Dave Feldberg at Falcons Flight. That'd be crazy.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, so we're working with him to see if he can bring his family up, and he hasn't been up in Canada for a while, but he loves it. I was just talking to him today, and he's like, pros love coming to Canada because our dollar goes a little further. You guys are so nice, food's good.
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, we'll see if we
Or
can get him up.
events. Or
But
events
yeah,
up
we're
here.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to sum up, working with the NADGT, I love it. It lets me contribute in Canada. It's if anybody thinks I'm doing this for the money, I can show you the numbers. That is not the case.
For the
I
money.
am doing it because I like facilitating events and helping disc golf grow in any parts of the country that are interested in having these events.
What's up, UP Nation? Wizzy here. Just want to let you know, this weekend, Saturday, June 8th, the boys are going to be in Elkford, BC, and we are going to throw a little show-up, pay-to-play tournament. So, Saturday, 10 a.m., show up to the course, find one of the UP boys, pay your entry fee, and play the tournament. And we'll have some prizes for the winners. Just a for fun thing, but come hang out, have a good time. We'll see you there. More info to follow. On to our next topic. Let's talk a little bit about Calvin Heimberg. And he's won his second straight of the year?
Second straight pro tour. I think there was.
Yeah.
I think last week or the weekend before there wasn't a pro tour event, but he
Yeah.
won the one the weekend before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, freaking
Yeah.
guy's been on number one in points and everything, number one disc golfer in the world, but he couldn't hit that win. Like he just could not win.
He just couldn't pull it out, man.
No.
Ridiculous. Man,
No, and I don't understand it.
like, guys, obviously an all-around player. And he is a good putter, but I think his putting's been kind of shaky.
Yeah.
From the events that I haven't watched every event, but from what I've been watching, if I'm seeing Calvin, like his putt's good, but like he's missing, I think low is the big one. I've seen him miss low a lot lately.
Is he doing the Austin Molly downward putt?
Always is, man. Always is.
Oh goodness.
It's
Not
I was looking at Calvin's PDGA page today to look at how he's done this year, and he's been either like anywhere from like first to fifth, so like kind of podium-ish on every event, and when he's not, he's like 30th.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
dude,
He's either
wait,
really good or just
yeah.
really bad.
And he's still making cash at 30th because it's like such a big field, but like, yeah, he's either hitting the podium and like just within a couple of shots of the win if he's not winning, or he's like just taking himself out of it and
Just sucking the hind tit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can relate.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. With the putting, nice. I'm gonna run this. Nice
Yeah.
layup, Kev.
If he's got putting problems, he can call me up and I can console him. I can't give him any help, but I can console him.
There we go.
Console.
I was so happy this tournament that the McGrath NADGT that I won with a clutch putt.
Hey.
We were I
Is this a
tried to
new
give it
era
away,
of Kevin.
right? Clutch Kevin, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
And I did it with a clutch putt, beating Matt Hawk, who has beaten me on more than one occasion with clutch shots.
Let's
Yes,
go.
he has.
So
Throwback to hole 2 at Aperture.
yeah, we don't need to talk about it.
Oh. Yeah, didn't he eagle that?
The only eagle of the day in
Yeah.
from anybody on the whole tournament, and that would have been my first open win.
Oh,
And he freaking eagled it, and
what
then
a
we go to a
guy.
play to go to a playoff. I still could have beat him in the playoff. Didn't beat him in the playoff.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't in the playoff? I thought that was in the playoff.
No.
Oh, what a guy.
No. In the playoff, I shanked my first 2 drives and somehow came away with pars, and he also parred. Like it was bad. It was a bad playoff. It only lasted 3 holes. I had no good tee shots, and yeah.
Ugh.
Anyways,
He did not.
back let's talk about Calvin because I don't want to relive any more of that.
Oh man. Oh
I love it.
man,
It's funny with Calvin. Like he's been one of those guys that like for years, last 3 or 4 years, has been like kind of a favorite to maybe win worlds. You're like, going into any big tournament, any major, he's probably in the conversation. And just, and then Isaac wins, or maybe AB wins, or maybe, someone else that's also good. He's just Calvin, for whatever reason, is always in the conversation, but never the guy being interviewed until recently when he's coming out with these a couple of good wins. So
yeah.
it's good. It's good to see.
He's got a problem closing.
Yeah.
Just can't close.
That third round seems like it's his third or fourth round, whatever. That final round is tough for him, it seems.
Mhm.
Like if you would have asked me if we would have had this type of podcast last year and you would have asked me like, oh, who's going to win this tournament coming up? I would have been like, probably Calvin, honestly.
Yeah.
Like for the way he plays and everything. But this year I'm up in the air. I don't know who's going to win the next tournament now.
Man, it's it's almost guaranteed Gannon Burr or potentially AB. Like I'm giving the edge to Gannon Burr, but AB is in that conversation.
That's the way the year started, was like AB or Gannon, and it was just it was like new school, Ricky and Paul. It was just probably going to be those two. Someone's going to be fighting at the end, and we were usually right. But yeah, there's so many good players now that are all, definitely could win. There's a lot of pros that like are probably happy to be there. Guys that you probably don't imagine are going to win majors or elite series events. I don't want to name names because I know some of them, but like, there's a lot of there's
calling guys out.
There's a lot of guys that
the only guy that's able to call people out on the pro tour right now that we've ever had on the podcast.
They don't know who I am. They don't know who I am.
No,
perfect.
But yeah, like guys or guys that have been good in the past that probably don't see themselves winning elite series events. Your Greg Barsby's, who are definitely good players, probably not competing at the highest level, but they were.
Yeah.
So there's just so many good players though now that and even really good players that haven't been winning, like an Alden Harris. Like he's a really good player.
Oh man, Alden's good, yeah.
And he could sneak out a pro tour win, and I wouldn't be too surprised. I think a lot of people would, because he doesn't usually come up in conversation, but he is a good player.
Yeah. Yeah. And like not even just in the MPO field, but we got like Ella Hansen, that moves on to our next kind of subject here. But Ella Hansen, she also won, and her elite
by
series.
by 7 strokes.
Yeah. Like honestly, finally, because Ella, I think, is like minus Tatar, I think is one of the better players, because like she can bomb a disc. It's the kind of everything in between that she needed to kind of figure out, and the mental game and all that. But yeah, I like Ella.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's funny in the FPO side. There's a lot that can. When I think about like FPO players that can bomb, Ella's there, Henna's there,
Haley.
Haley King, thank
Haley.
you.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're welcome.
this is a bit of an NADGT plug, but Ellie Ezra Middling, she was
Oh
our
yeah.
tour champion. She was our tour champion last year, and she
Not
won
only
the
that,
distance
but
comp.
the distance comp. Yeah, she freaking bombed those
She
kids.
mashed it, and I got to see her in Florida. We had a distance comp, and she had food poisoning. She still won the tournament. She's that good. But then in the distance comp, she was like just drained, like no energy. She'd already played around with food poisoning, was like in the bushes being unhealthy, and like it was not a good day for her. And then she gets up in the distance comp, and I told her, she was the last one to throw. I told her, I was like, I know you had a hard day. I can't tell you who's winning or how far they threw, but as soon as you beat them, I will tell you so you can stop. I will not make you throw all 5 of your throws or whatever it was. Like, I will tell you when you've won, so you don't have to do anymore. And it took her to the 5th throw, but it connected and just went for miles, like further than 99% of guys that I know that can throw. She can mash, and she's tiny too. She's like,
She
Paige
is.
Pierce small.
Yeah.
So, but sorry,
Was that the
there,
distant comp that Jomez was at in filming?
yeah, that was the skills comp at the early
Yeah.
season, the All Star event, I think.
Yeah, and she
Yeah,
she threw an OB a couple times, and they were bombed. Like
yeah.
I was watching them, like on the watching the video. I was watching. Holy cow! Like they're like, "Oh, this needs to come back," and it's the furthest one.
Oof.
Like,
Yeah,
it
and
was
she's
scary.
still, I think she's still in high school. She's homeschooled, and she's like 16, 17, 18, like something, like she's gonna be a problem in a couple of years. Like,
She's the
um,
problem now.
yeah, is if she can really focus on her putting and getting maybe a couple more tournaments under her belt, and just the mental side, she could be someone we're talking about here in a year or two with, just the same way we're talking about Ella, being really really good. She's next.
Totally. You heard it here first. Holy,
Jeez.
that's insane.
That is insane.
That's exciting. Because I
Okay, we
remember,
Mhm.
sorry, just throwing back on that. I just remember Nate Sexton even saying, he's like, I don't really know who this girl is, and if I'm reading this right, she threw how far?
Yeah,
Like he was just baffled that she could throw it that far.
she's
It's
she's pushing she's pushing 500 in these distance
yeah,
comps, and she is like just the smallest person, and the night her whole family was there in Jacksonville, and they're just the nicest people and biggest cheerleaders ever too. And she's got
that's
lots a
awesome.
lot of younger siblings that are like 10, 12 that are playing as well too. So
damn.
That's
yeah.
sweet.
Damn.
Alrighty, Wizzy. Sorry I cut you off.
No, don't you ever apologize to me. Anyways, uh so we got something on the script here. Kristen Tatar's injured? If I'm being
Yeah.
honest, I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
she made a little announcement. I think her and Silver were doing some home renos or something, and she took a little spill. She took a little spill, and yeah, she's in. She's out for minimum 4 weeks.
Damn.
So
She broke or injured a rib.
yeah. I didn't want to say that she broke it because I wasn't too sure. I just know it was something with her rib.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
I can,
she's
I'm gonna
taking
bring
the
up the
time
post
off.
here just to confirm. Oh
Man,
yeah, I was reading the post. Oh, I have it up already. I haven't left it.
man was
Resulting in a
prepared.
resulting in a
Guys
broken
on
rib.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Damn. Wow.
I stumbled among scattered items, resulting in a broken rib. So she's not playing Portland Open or Beaver State.
yeah.
I did Google rib injuries, broken ribs, and how long it takes, and Google tells me 6 weeks is about how long it takes to heal.
That
So
sounds about
she's
right.
she says she's off the course for at least 4 weeks. So
Okay,
month and a half is probably how long it'll take her to start feeling better. So
Jeez.
man,
Man,
that sucks.
I want to
yeah,
say that this opens up like the FPO field for other winners, but like
mhm.
Kristen really hasn't like done a
This
whole
year,
lot since the beginning of the season.
yeah.
Like at the beginning of the
Yeah.
season is when we started this podcast, and we were saying like, "Oh, who's gonna beat Kristen Tatar?" And literally after the first two or three events, it's like,
Yeah,
"Who?
yeah.
Kristen Tatar?
Like,
Who?"
well,
Like,
yeah. And like last
Yeah,
year, the year before, last year even she was just podium, podium, podium. Whether it be first, second, third, like she was podium majority of the year last year.
yeah,
mhm.
So
I'm looking at her page this year. She's played 8 events. She's won 4, which is dominant, but it's not Kristen dominant.
it's not
Like
Kristen Dominant, which
she
is
has
funny
been
that we say that. She's
sure.
won 50% of her
Yeah,
competitions,
I
but
will.
that's
I'm
not
not.
good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say she's fallen off by any means. She is good. And like of the 4 she didn't win, she came in second twice. So like, okay,
okay,
she's good.
maybe I
And
shouldn't have said anything.
no, she's the fact that it seems like she should be winning more just tells us how good she really is. Because
Hmm.
yeah, in past years, like when she had the Grand Slam, she's winning
Oh my,
like 70% of her events or something, right? It's
yeah,
crazy.
that was like your winning percentage is so high.
Yeah,
Like when you're winning 50% of your tournaments, and we're saying that like you're kind of not falling off, but you're
yeah,
not doing that well this year. I don't
yeah,
know.
That's
yeah.
insane.
When
That's crazy.
when you're the only person in the entire tournament in the entire world with a 4 digit rating, people are expecting you to win every single tournament.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny because
that's
like
insane.
I was looking up Ken Climo's stats from when like his heyday. And like he played in one year, 95, he played 28 events and he won 23 of them. And in the 5 that he didn't win, he got second place 3 times and third place twice. So he was on the podium all 28 events. And the thing is, I looked it up too. The 2 events that he played that he got third, they were doubles events. So like world's doubles or like USDGC doubles. And so he was third. And the way that they actually record it on the PDGA, first place is like 2 people, and then the next team is third because it's like a tie for one, and then third. So he was actually second. So dude played 28 events, won 23 of them, and was second 5 times. And so like on those events where he didn't win, like the conversation could be had where like, oh, like it just names, some old guy, Schwebby. Oh, Schwebby beat him. Is Schwebby the next great guy?
Yeah.
No. Kenny's allowed to lose 5 times in a year, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's still the goat. So yeah,
Yeah.
Kristen is, she'll be back. She'll be good. Maybe the rest will help her.
Yeah.
Not that she
Like,
needs the
are we
help. She's
kind of
already good.
saying that about Paige Pierce too then? Kind of, because she was sort of the goat. She had her injury and now she's
Hmm.
coming back. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I'm not personally gonna say that about Paige because I feel personally at the time she didn't have the competition that she does now.
mhm,
And I honestly don't think that she's as good as the field or some of the field anymore. So
sure.
like
You The same thing could be said about Climo too. Climo was
Fair.
playing against guys that no one was playing professionally. That was nobody's job. It wasn't even Kenny's job. He was in construction, right? So
Yeah. Actually,
everyone was doing
that's
this.
actually a big kind of argument that I've heard about Ken Climo. It's just like, well, he didn't play against like these guys, but
Against professionals, yeah.
Yeah.
But he played and he beat everyone he played. So like even
dominated.
even talking about Kristen, like I have a hard, maybe it's just me just being old, but like I don't call her the GOAT yet. She's super good.
Mhm.
She's got 2 world titles. There are a lot of people that have more than that. You know,
Yeah.
Val Jenkins has got a handful. Paige has got 5. Elaine
Yeah.
King, Juliana Corver, like a lot of these older players.
Corver.
Yeah,
2021 Rookie of the Year, Juliana Corver.
Juliana Corver, yeah, Pro Tour Rookie of the Year. Yeah, she's done a lot in 5 years.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so like, yeah, all those ladies are. I mean, Kristen was rated higher, so like you could use that as a metric if you want to say she's the
Yeah.
greatest ever. She's the highest rated ever. But yeah, she's still got lots to prove.
Oh, for sure.
I like it.
Yeah.
And she probably will.
I think so.
Really quick before we move on, I just want to say something that happened in spring runoff, which just blew my mind. Young man named Connell McLeod, uh, like pretty young, like
Yeah.
I'm not sure how young, but young.
He's
Uh,
out of Calgary, right?
yes, out of Calgary,
Yeah.
got second in MPO, hell of a finish. Shut
Yeah.
a 6 down from Blues at Nick Sheeran final round,
That's
which
just
is
gross.
insane. That was a 1040 rated round.
Hmm.
Probably should have been higher because 6 down is unbelievable. Um, apparently I'm being honest, I didn't know who this guy was until this weekend. Apparently he's like number 2 in the world for distance in his age group. Apparently he threw like over 600 feet at a distance competition.
Dude, that's crazy.
Like, what? And
Did
then he
did he
comes
play?
out.
Did he play in the spring runoff distance comp? Because you
No,
guys had
he
a distance
didn't.
comp, right?
No,
Oh,
he
okay.
didn't. Like the old like almost nobody from MPO like of the top guys came out. Like the only guy who came out and actually won the event was
Jackson.
no, it was Austin Pallister.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
came out and won it. He can throw far.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently apparently this Connell kid can throw like 600 plus. He's 994 rated. He shot yeah, his last round was 1040. Like
Mhm.
I think that's insane.
That's
That's
super.
crazy.
I like Lethbridge was my first home course, and we would regularly play the whites. Me and my buddies. Every now and again, we play the reds, blues for like tournaments and like when we're we got extra time on our hands. I have been playing for however like 15 years. I've never broken par on the freaking blues at Lethbridge, and then guys come once a year and shoot 6 down. Like, okay,
Like
yeah,
Ridiculous.
hats off. Yeah, good job.
and not to
Yeah.
mention like 16-year-old guys.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
come on. Give me a
Mhm.
break. And I'm thinking
Yeah,
of
that's
moving up to
ridiculous.
MPO. Like not after seeing that.
It's funny when I go to Lethbridge every now and again. I'll play with my father-in-law who's 70. He likes to play. He'll play from the reds and I'll play from the whites, and our scores will usually be close-ish. I feel like I could play from the whites and these guys could play for the blues, and our scores would be kind of close-ish. Like,
Yep.
yeah, Noah, you go play from the blues. I'll see you at the whites.
Yeah.
And he'd
Yep.
probably still beat me.
Oh man, that's crazy to think.
With the handicap.
With
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Let's move on. Zimmy, I think you got a little speech you want to put out there for a certain group.
Bogey Bros. We've been calling you out since like day one. And you say that you want to come, like you want to travel, you want to, do all these Bogey Bros challenges, but you're not doing nothing with us. You called us out. You want four. You said you're going to need all four of you to beat us, and you still haven't called us out. I commented on your post. You still haven't acknowledged us. I'm getting a little tired of it right now. We'll be in Sandpoint. End of July. We do expect to see you there. We will play. We will do a Bogey Bros challenge, and we will probably beat you. That's all I want to say. I'm just a little sick and tired of it. They go do this whole press conference thing, and then
Do we have to do one of those?
or we might have to
We might have to.
just
We
do
got.
it like
We might have to make
it's
this even more official. Like,
Like
yeah.
a like a
I'll do
like
a
like a
press
like a
conference.
WWE promo, like a hey
yeah.
hey
Hey,
brother.
brother! I'll do it. I don't care. I'm calling them out every podcast now
We're gonna
until I
have
get
to,
it.
because like we gotta we
You can't
gotta
you
face these
can't
guys.
hide this long.
You can't. You
You
just
can't be
can't.
hiding this long.
No.
You gave us the ultimatum. You can't come to Canada. We're coming to the States. Now
Let's
you're just
go.
gonna leave us on red?
I
I'm
mean,
not having this.
I mean, I'm no expert, but that sounds pretty scared to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, we can move on now. I
All
just
right.
wanted to get that little bit out there.
I love it.
Uh, yeah,
All
I'll
right.
call them out every podcast.
All right. So to end the podcast, we're gonna ask a couple questions. Uh, so first question, Kevin, you're gonna answer first, and then we're gonna answer. So,
Hey,
Kevin, what's it like knowing the UP boys? And then afterwards, we're gonna answer the question, what's it like knowing Kevin King?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
You guys, I was introduced to you guys obviously here in Elk Creek. You guys are coming to league, and you were locals, and it was refreshing because for me, for the longest time in Elkford, I thought I was the only guy playing disc golf. Like here in town, like yeah, we were talking about earlier about when making the course and you see all the the paths are forming and it's starting to kind of settle. When I first like in that first year or two, like seeing paths go from basket to tee or yeah, starting to form it, I was like, there are other people here playing. This is phenomenal. And so meeting you guys and seeing how fun you keep disc golf was refreshing because like I had some of that in Lethbridge and I hadn't had that in Elkford until you guys came along. So I appreciate that. Your rounds are always fun. I hope you guys always feel comfortable being you around me
Oh
because
yeah.
Oh yeah.
we're not the same people and we don't need to be. And
Goodness no, we're far from being the same people. The
right,
the most similarities we got is we play disc golf.
we play yeah, and I love that. I would be bored being around me and only me. So
Yeah.
thank you for being you guys. Thank you for keeping disc golf fun and doing that close to me.
Heck yeah.
What are we here for? I'll go next, Wiz.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, now, Kev, obviously I've known you for quite a while now. Uh, you kind of took me under your wing because we were kind of the only ones on the course most of the time.
Mhm.
Uh, and until Colin figured out our routine. But no, playing with you, Kev, like it's like you said, it's refreshing because sometimes going with Wiz and Austin, it's like it's something crazy going on. You can't just have a normal conversation. I'm not gonna lie. It's always gonna be some type of moaning or someone. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's something like it's something crazy. Like I will do that with you too, Kevin, but it's not
yeah.
every sentence, every word we're going.
Even so, it's funny you say that. No, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. But like
No.
this last week at league, I was playing with Matt Herman, and and he had a shot. It was really good, and he lets out a daddy, and he kind of looks at me. He's like, I know they're not here, but they're here. Like so
Oh, that's awesome.
you've left a mark.
That's so good. Oh my
I love it.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Oh wow.
oh.
Oh crap.
I love that. Oh
Um,
man, this league.
all right, I'm gonna answer this question now. So Kevin, I don't think we met until actually like I started playing disc golf. And it wasn't until like Zimmy told me about like league in Elkford, and that's when we first
Mm.
met.
Which is funny because we have so many friends in common outside of disc golf.
We do.
Like,
So many.
yeah,
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 we
but
really do.
yeah, our paths didn't cross until we started throwing discs together.
Yeah, and like when I first started, like I don't know, clear obviously you're never good when you first start, and I didn't really know if disc golf could be much more than guys hanging out and drinking beer and whatnot. And
Mhm.
then like literally the first time I played with you, like just watching your throws, how smooth and direct they were, I was like, this is what disc golf could be. Like you kind of opened my eyes to the possibility, like, man, you could actually be like really good at this sport. Like,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
I was amazed by your shots when I first started playing because I'd clearly never seen that before. So I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then just over the years, like my game's been like steadily improving. And like the one guy
Steadily.
outside of
Fucking just rapidly went up. Stop.
Yeah,
okay, but let me finish. Let's say, outside of the UP boys, like you're the one guy who's like, I'll have a decent tournament or I'll have a good round in a tournament, and I'll get a random message from Mr. Kevin King, like, man, I saw your tournaments, like you played really well, and I was like, man, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, Kevin King's telling me I'm doing well, I'm doing something right. Like it's really cool,
yeah,
and I
I
really
appreciate that.
appreciate it.
I appreciate the words. It's kind of fun because like when I started playing too, like I was no good. I didn't know how how to snap my wrist or get anything to fly straight. And seeing some of my friends who athletically, I'm like, I think I'm as athletic as them. Like if they figure, I could probably figure this out. And
Yeah.
that's I felt that same way that you were kind of describing watching me throw because even when I watch myself throw, I don't think I'm throwing anything. I'm not the best disc golfer in the world, but if someone can see, oh, look at this slightly not athletic guy, putting a round together, like yeah, it can be inspiring, and it inspired me, years ago to do the same thing. So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, next question, moving right along.
All
It's gonna
right,
be this is
this one's
gonna
just a this
this is
one's just a nice, quick little question.
this is gonna be mostly you, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, this one's just a nice little question I've got specifically for Kevin. Who's winning the Stanley Cup this year? And I do apologize asking this question after the
Right.
unfortunate events of Game 7.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like you wouldn't have been asking this question if things had gone differently for Game 7.
No,
Because, well,
no, I would
for
have
one,
because I was
for
going for
one,
Vancouver. I was going for Vancouver.
I was
Don't
like,
even. I was going for Vancouver.
I think you may have still answered the question, knowing what my answer would have been if Vancouver was still in it. But yeah, I am a
Yeah.
Canucks guy. I grew up in Vancouver. I got to go to all the Canucks games that I wanted to because I got to I was there as a volunteer raising money for their sick kids program. And so, yeah, Canucks are number one, but I do have a number two team, which is it's a very far down the list. Like it's one and then two, three, four, five.
Yeah.
So, but my number two team are the Oilers. So that was
Oh no.
I I wasn't cheering for the Oilers against the Canucks.
Oh.
Obviously, moving forward, I'm like two, three, four, five. Like I said, it gets, if there's a two, it's the Oilers. My reasoning behind it is I lived in Edmonton for a couple of years when I was a missionary for my church. They stationed me in Edmonton, and I got to love the people there. Didn't go to an Oilers game, but I like Edmonton, the city. The team itself is, I can kind of take it or leave it, but
Okay.
so a funny story. When I got home from being a missionary, I got home in May 2006. My sister had also been serving as a missionary, but she was in Guatemala, and she got home like 5 days after I did. So we got home pretty close together, and we were asked, the two of us, to give like a presentation or like a talk at like a youth conference, for some of the youth in the church. So we did that in Vancouver, and she was going to tell about her stories in Guatemala. I was telling some of my stories from Edmonton, and she brought like this beautiful traditional attire, this Guatemalan traditional dress, and it was vibrant and colorful, and there's a headpiece and a skirt and and it was beautiful. She brought that home, and she said she was going to do that, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to have the attire of my people, so I went and I bought an Oilers jersey, and and it was easy to find one because that was 2006 was during their last cup run.
Oh yeah, against
So
Carolina.
yeah, so there were a lot of Oilers jerseys that I could find at like the local sports shops and whatever. So I do have an Oilers jersey. I have a bunch of Canucks jerseys, but I do have the one Oilers, the gear one with the yeah. Anyways, their third jersey
Yeah.
from back in the day. So long answer, yeah, Oilers are my number 2 team. Do I think they're going to win? I think your question was who do I think is going to win? I don't know that it's the Oilers. I think the Rangers have been looking really good.
I'm with you. I'm going Rangers or Dallas because Dallas is my second team. So
I could be okay with Pavelski getting a ring, but I
it's
think
my boy Ben and Sagan. I want them
Sagan,
to get
yeah,
a ring.
yeah. The Rangers are looking. I mean, they lost the first game, but they're prior
Yeah,
to that first game,
that was because of an own goal.
yeah, and a goalie on the other side who was just a brick wall. But
Bob.
yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll go Rangers.
Okay,
I'll go Rangers Oilers final. I'd like that.
okay. I'm gonna go Rangers Dallas final because I'd rather like that. But
Sure.
I like your choice.
There you go.
All right, gentlemen,
All right.
we're damn near out of time. So either we can try to answer this last question really quick, or we can just wrap it up. What do you
We'll go
think?
quick.
Quick? All right. What's your favorite pastime that does not include disc golf? Zimmy, go.
Zimmy, cooking. Literally cooking. I will cook up a storm any day of the week.
Yes, sir.
Give me a nice sourdough starter.
You're a decent hot sauce maker
Oh.
as well. I had some of that last year.
Might I add? Yep. Yep. I got some good banana pepper hot sauce right now.
Nice.
Love it. Love fermenting. So much fun.
Nice. All right, Kevin.
Growing up, it was a lot of baseball. But because I'm 40 now, I have recently, in the last 3 weeks, really gotten into bird watching.
Bird watching.
No
Heck
lie.
yeah.
I found a sick app that is called it's Merlin, and you can like push a button and it'll listen to like the birds making noise and it'll tell you what bird it is.
Yeah, my graduating environmental science degree fiance that she's been
Yeah,
heavily on
she's
that
on Merlin.
app.
It is a
I love
sick
that.
app. I got 3 new birds today. It was a really exciting day for me.
Hell
And
yeah.
I went out to Lost
Pokemon.
Lake with I went out to Lost Lake with my son, and that was a new spot, and they had a couple of new birds that the app picked up, and you can put
Nice.
in a picture. And anyways, birding is my
Love it.
new thing in the
That's
last 3
sweet.
weeks.
Wiz?
Myself, I'm a very like sports driven person. Like that's literally most of my hobbies. That's why I picked up disc golf. So in the off time, like summer, it's golf. Winter, usually basketball. Um, those are, and honestly, I've been in the last couple of years, I've been a really big gym guy, trying to get in shape, lose some weight. So I definitely go to the gym a lot as well. But I also contradict the gym all the time because I enjoy a good drink, probably every
Yep.
night of the week. So
Probably every night of the week.
Are there many good low calorie drinks?
oh man, that's why I like seltzers so much.
Most
Like this is a
definitely.
90-calorie drink.
Okay,
Like that's about as low as you're gonna find. That's why I'm a big seltzer guy.
okay, I'm at 170 on this one. I don't even read labels, and I probably
They
should.
don't got the calories on this thing.
No, they don't on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, I think we're gonna close down the UP podcast, episode 8. Thank you to Mr. Kevin King for joining us on the pod. Was an amazing experience, and I hope everybody who listened to this podcast enjoys it as much as we did.
Yeah.
Thanks
Maybe
for
got
having
a
me. It was a
little bit of
blast.
information into your minds. Got into Kevin's mind there.
Can I plug the gut shot?
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Gut shot. July 13th. It's a B tier this year in Elkford. I think it's a good course. People tell me it's a good course.
Good
And
course. Number 1 on my list.
lots of I had a hard time not putting it on one of my top threes, but I felt that would be self-serving. So
Fair.
but yeah, we have a whole lot. Like last year we had a lot of fundraising, and it kind of blew me away how much money we raised. This year we've got that much money already, and we still have like 2 more months to go. Lots of room in registration. It's the same weekend as Edmonton Open. So if you're going to Edmonton Open, have fun, have a blast. If you're not signed up for Edmonton Open because it's full, come to the Gut Shop. It's going to be
Come
fun. Lots of prizes.
coming out with the UP boys and Mr.
Heck yeah.
Kevin King.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there day before helping out with the doubles round.
Yeah.
You bring back the old UP doubles gut shot,
There you go.
random doubles. That'll be fun.
Heck yeah.
So
Sweet.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you for listening, and make sure you tune into the next podcast, and we'll catch you later.